So this is the inside of a 7-post Mercury switch box for a lot of 70s Mercury 2-stroke outboards. And I've been able to dissolve most of the epoxy on the outside. And you can see in between the little bits of epoxy that are left, for whatever reason, Mercury put these little rocks everywhere inside these cases. And it just seems like an extremely weird thing to do, because they don't really seem to function as, you know, like isolating electricity or anything like that. And they definitely don't help increase durability, although they do increase weight. And it's just a really weird thing to put inside of an electrical component thing. So like a lot of switch boxes, this one was not getting spark from one side to the other. So I cleaned my distributor and trigger, and I was actually able to get continuity from the 3 wires coming out of the distributor while I had everything hooked up to the battery. I was using the coil, the switch box, and the trigger all hooked up together, and I had the red and the white here jumpered, but there was absolutely zero power getting to this side over here. And after this thing has been sitting dissolving for probably like 2 weeks now, I think I found at least one of the issues. It was super cursory glance, but you can see this wire comes from the brown post, and it's soldered together right here, and this runs through this guy. It's like a wound piece of metal. I don't really even know what a good name for that is. And out to the white post. And so when you're trying to diagnose these, you have to jumper these together with a hot wire from the battery to be able to simulate key on. And you can also see here, following the wire back around, right here where these 2 wires meet and then go over back to the brown post, it's also supposed to be connected right here to this guy. So it's separated. There's a soldering joint that goes from right here to right here, and that's separated. So that's at least one of the problems. So I'm gonna finish digging these little pebbles out and see how much rubber is left, to see if I have to expose any other electrical components. And then after that, we are going to touch these back together and test this thing out once it's completely dried, to see if that was the problem. Because if that is the problem, this is a very simple, just time laborious task to fix. And it saves you obviously a lot of money, because these things are going for anywhere from $450 to like $650 online.